Welcome and acknowledge to today's Sabassembler. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you again to all my followers and all the other fellow collectors. And because we want to reach the 1000, I just want to ask everyone to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you again. And as you already know, today this is not an unboxing. I'm just making a room tour of my current collection. I've already unboxed, and I'm doing this because a lot of you have already asked me to make a room tour of my collection because everyone wants to see all the statues I own and the way they look like in my displays. And I'm sorry it took so long. I know they've been asking me this for a long time, but I didn't get to do that. But now finally I've actually made it, and I hope you'll enjoy this and also enjoy my collection just the way I do. Just before we get started, I just want to say one more thing. All the statues you see here are not all the statues I own. In fact, I own many more statues, but due to space issues, I haven't actually managed to unbox those. All the statues you're going to see here are maybe 1/3 of my collection, but all the others are still in storage, and the moment I get enough space and more Moji Case displays, I'll be unboxing those too. So just so you know that. Here I'll just give you a broad first look of my wall where I've displayed all the statues with the two huge Mojucade displays. And here on the right side I have my first one made up of two 70 centimeters max Moji cases and the 150 or 450s on the bottom next to each other. And so let's get started with the top right. Here these are some of my first XM statues, and here first at the front we have the XM Studios Craven statue, an amazing piece with the lion right in the front, and I think this is also one of XM's best pieces because of the lion, mainly because the lion looks so realistic, and I just think it's an amazing statue. Behind we have the XM Studios Mysterio standing high in his clouds and his a tornado of clouds, and also another great piece. And just next to it we have from the Sinister 6 line, we have Vulture from XM Studios quarter scale, and right in front of him the quarter scale from XM Studios Spider-Man, which I think was a statue that you have to see in person. It's a statue when you see it in pictures that where pictures don't do justice. It's in person, it's just much more impressive and definitely worth to buy. Just like Vulture. Vulture is, unfortunately here I can't actually display him properly because of space issues, but when you put him on top it becomes a huge piece and much more impressive. So if we go one floor down, we have also from the Sinister 6 line, we have here Lizard, also quarter scale, also one of my first statues, an amazing piece. And also with a very heavy base, as I remember. That doesn't look so heavy, but when you see it in person it's just really heavy. Next to him we have the Carnage statue from XM Studios as well, and also just another amazing piece. It was a pain in the ass, I remember, to put together with all the symbiotes on his back, but once it's done it's just a phenomenal piece. And I always put the switch out piece here on the floor. At the bottom you have the switch out head, and right next to him we have Sandman. Sandman is actually my first XM Studios piece. In fact, Sandman is the statue how I got into XM Studios. When I saw pictures of this piece, I just thought, wow, I just have to have that piece. I mean, this statue was so phenomenal. I still think this is maybe among the top 3 statues XM Studios ever made. It's definitely one of their biggest eye-catcher statues when you see it. and I've displayed him with the regular, human face look, not with the Sandman, just simply because I like the contrast between the human face and the body and all his sand powers. I just think it looks much better. And below him I have the XM Studios Predator, another phenomenal piece. And at the bottom we have the switcher head with the alien unmasked face. One of the few times where XM Studios gives you like a kind of pedestal to display the switch out heads. I believe they should do that more often, but here, another phenomenal piece from XM Studios. Unfortunately, I could not display Predator with him holding the spear because it would have gotten too big. But if I do get a better option to display him, I will definitely display him with the spear. And just right next to Predator we have the alien statue from XM Studios. Wow, this is one of those statues I've been just so anxious when to get it. I was just so happy the moment I got this statue. I just think there's so much detail. In my eyes, this is a perfect statue. Honestly, if I ever had a statue, like if my house was on fire or if there was an earthquake or something, I think this might be the statue I would be kind of saving when I have to leave the house. And right next to him we have XM Studios Hulkbuster, a huge, ginormous piece, just like Alien, but this one just has much more mass and seems much larger than Predator. But it is just insanely heavy too. Another almost masterpiece of XM Studios. And if we go one step higher, from XM Studios Batman Samurai line, I have here Poison Ivy, which is also, I think from the whole Batman Samurai line, I think this is actually one of my most favorite statues. It just looks phenomenal with all the detail, and I don't think there's anything to complain about this statue. And one higher, I have from the Batman Samurai line the Deathstroke, with him standing on this phenomenal base. This is, I think, XM's best base ever made. So much detail and just a wow statue. This wow base. Even though Deathstroke is also just phenomenal, I think the base is even better when you look closely and look at all the detail. Next to him we have Electro, also from the Sinister 6 line. Talking about Sinister 6, I actually also have Green Goblin and Doc Ock. I'm just waiting to have enough space to display those two. And next to Deathstroke we have the Batman from the Samurai line, also looking phenomenal on this perfect or great Asian kind of base on the roof of some building. Just looks great. Wow. And under him we have Bane, just a huge piece. Perfectly displays Bane, and with his huge axe next to him. I think that's also another masterpiece from Batman Samurai line from XM Studios. And below him we have the Predator, also the Transform Prime one, Optimus Prime from their XM's Transformer line. This is also another statue which I anticipated, and the moment I got this, I just couldn't wait. I had to unbox it, and at the bottom we have some of the switch out arms and his transformed option with the truck. Also another almost perfect statue in my eyes. And if we go to the next display, we have the Batman on horse from their samurai line. Another great piece. I mean, this is a breathtaking piece. This was, I'm sure, was it last year or the year before, where I believe this was maybe the statue of the year in my eyes. Just great piece. Next to him we have the plaque, and under him we have the Batman Sanity from XM Studios. I also have the Batman plaque. I actually have the Joker plaque, even though I don't own the statue. Same thing with the Flash plaque. I don't actually own the statues of both of those, but I still got those. And below we have the XM Studios Megatron statue, which I think is one of those statues where I think the problem is with the character, not with the statue. It's not as impressive, I think, as Optimus Prime, but it's still a great statue. And next to him we have Starscream from XM's Transformers line. This, I think, is another one of those statues which is almost as perfect, or which is just perfect and looks great, where they did a perfect job with creating the G1 version of this character. And above of that we're starting with the X-Men line from XM Studios. Here we have the Wolverine brown costume, holding the sword and his blades on his left arm, also with a plaque. And right next to him I have Sabretooth, and I think this is perfect way to create Sabretooth. And when you have both of them next to each other, I think it just creates a phenomenal effect. And right on top we have various X-Men characters. Behind we have the XM Studios White Magneto with all his powers. That's just one huge statue. And right next to him we have the XM Studios Mystique. Just phenomenal piece. I mean, just next to her we have Emma Frost. Wow, it's so sexy. I mean, both of these ladies just look so sexy. And next to her we have another lady, or another two ladies. On the right side we have Jean Grey, Phoenix, another classic OG statue from XM Studios. Another statue which nobody will ever forget. I think when people hear of XM Studios, I think this is one of those statues which people will always connect with XM Studios. So if you hear XM Studios, you'll think of this statue. Next to her we have Storm. I mean, here we have this kind of corner of mine where you have so many different lady statues. I mean, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the I mean, I think it's a great combination. And below these we have Namor, and wow, it's such a huge piece. I think this is XM's heaviest statue in my eyes. I mean, from my experience, the box was gigantic, and when you try to carry the statue by yourself, it's actually impossible. It's just too heavy. And I think, unfortunately, I always think Namor is a statue which didn't get as much attention as it did like other statues. For example, the Ghost Rider, which was one of those hype statues. I think Namor should have been one of those too. because when you see the statue in person, it's just really breathtaking, especially with that octopus or kraken he's standing on. That thing is really, really breathtaking. Under him we have here also a bumblebee with the Witwicky from XM Studios, another Transformer statue. Below we have him with the beetle transformed, and next to him we have the Iceman statue. Not my favorite X-Men statue from XM Studios, but it's a fairly good one. And next to him we have XM's Colossus, another very, massive statue which has a lot of presence. And also that one with a plaque. And on top of that we have a whole bunch of different statues here. Start from behind. On the right side we have Omega Red from XM Studios, quarter scale. Maybe not my favorite, one of my favorite statues, but it's still a very good statue of Omega Red, one of the best probably on the market. Left to him we have Gambit, on my favorite pose from XM Studios, quarter scale, great statue. And in the front here we have XM's Cyclops on the left side with the switch out torso, whereas in the Fear I just used the raging out screaming torso because I think that's the best way. I think the other one is also great, but especially when he's not too high, I think this is the best way to display him. If you have him on a higher shelf, probably the other version is better, so you can see his face. Also in the front I have the Gambit plaque. And on top, this actually has nothing to do with X-Men, but still, when I got these statues, I just had to open it. The Thanos and Lady Death from XM Studios. This combination is also one of those statues where you think it's a statue of the year. When these came out, wow, these are really breathtaking statues. Maybe not easy to put together because there are a lot of small pieces, as I remember, but still a phenomenal combination of characters in this two statues, especially the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos and his look, and the Lady Death. Well, I displayed her with a kind of combination with the kind of skeleton arms and the human face. I always like to use some kind of contrast. And wow. Here in my neighboring room I have some of my first statues of my collection, the Sideshow Superman premium format, and on the right side the Sideshow premium format Power Girl, and still some of the classic statues from Sideshow. Some people might be wondering what that necklace is, but that's kind of private thing, but doesn't matter. Still some of Sideshow's classic statues. And on top we have Sideshow's Batman premium format on the right side, and also one of my first statues when I got into statue collecting. And on the left side we have the Sideshow premium format Harley Quinn. This was actually my very first statue, the first one I've ever purchased, and how I got into collectibles and statue collecting. And simple statue pretty much, but I think this is the best Harley Quinn statue still ever made, because I still like Harley Quinn with the red and white bodysuit, and I don't like these new versions where you have her with the blue hair and this kind of skirts or so, but I just like the classical look of the red and white kind of bodysuit with jumpsuits and the hammer. I mean, the hammer for me always has to be there. I don't like the version where she's holding like a baseball bat. Here we have the Sideshow Wonder Woman premium format, also another one of my first statues, and which still I think is a great piece, very classical look. And for now I just had to put it here in the living room because of space issues, but I'll be putting it back in the display soon. And right next to her, the Sideshow premium format Hulk, another phenomenal statue with a lot of presence. But well, that was it. These are all the statues I've had to, or I could display. Here in front of me I have another box I'll be planning to open soon. It's the XM Studios Deadpool version B, and this is just one of more statues of my collection which I haven't unboxed yet. And if you think this is everything, there are many more I'm planning to unbox. Maybe I'll just show you some of those. As I said, if you think that was everything, I must be very wrong. These are some of the boxes I've unboxed and others I haven't unboxed yet. Here we have like a huge, almost like a maze or a huge pile of other boxes which are still to be unboxed. Most of them XM Studios at the moment, but some of those I'm really anticipating to open. For example, here we have the XM Studios Black Vault. Underneath we have a Prime 1, it's a Guyver 3, one of those statues I'm really anticipating to unbox. And also here we have, for example, the Iron Studios Hawkman, which comes in 2 huge boxes. Right next to it we have from Prime 1 the Deathstroke. And as I said, there are many more statues. And even here, for example, I have the Hulk transformation from XM Studios. And also, this is just also a fraction of all the other statues as I own, and others, many more, I am keeping in storage right now. And I can't wait to bring those here as soon as I have the option or the possibility to unbox those. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and hope you enjoyed my collection too, and hope I made also those people happy who've been asking me many times to make a tour of my collection. So, and I am also happy myself because I finally got to come after your questions and wishes. So I really always felt bad because people have been asking me this for many times, and I didn't get to do that. So I've always been fighting with myself. Yeah, I want to do it, but no, it's not enough statues. But finally I got to do it. So I hope you're happy, and I'll be bringing more statues in the future. And as I said, also more statues from my storage, not just the ones I keep here at home, and others I'm really anticipating to open as soon as I get more displays and space to display my statue. So God bless you, God bless our statues, and have a nice day.
Sabassembler.